not going to be so much about the kids in school, even though they did attend school here, but it's going to be about a particular situation that I'm afraid I created when they were just starting school. Actually, my son. He was 5, my daughter was 3 when we moved here. We moved here to Glen Wilton. I don't know if you guys know where Glen Wilton is. Not much there. We moved here from San Francisco. So it was different. And the house we lived in California was, I guess you'd call it a, what do you say, a condominium? Yeah, it was not much. And we moved to a house that I thought the address, when we looked at the realtor, I thought the address was 1790 Glen area. So we went to Glen Wilton looking for it, and there were no street names. And we asked the post office. Glen Wilton actually had a post office at the time. And the postmaster said, well, what does the house look like? And so we told him, he says, oh, it's the house up on the hill. And he said, it was built in 1790, and it's called Glen area. Well, there could be a lot of stories about that. But what we started doing about the time that we moved here was having Friday night pizza and movies. And that became a tradition, which, even though the kids are long gone in their 30s, my wife and I still enjoy pizza on Friday night and a movie. And it was easy in those days. I used to just drive to Covington, I think it was, to the video store to pick up a DVD and drive all the way back. And now it's much more difficult. I have to go to that damn Netflix thing. And it's not bad enough that I don't push the right buttons. It's, can you look at the buttons before you push them? But anyway, to get to the point though, the kids enjoyed that, we enjoyed that, and we always got good movies. And one of the movies that was out on DVD at the time, and actually been in theaters before, was Jurassic Park. In Jurassic Park, we bought the kids little dinosaurs and they played with them and they had a great time and everything, but Jurassic Park was kind of different. Even though I thought it was enjoyable and neat to watch, it was PG-13, violence and blood, right? And I've never even thought about that. And so we sat in the living room, the kids are there, and Carol's on one side, I'm on the other, and we're watching the movie. And you guys remember what Jurassic Park was like. These were not nice dinosaurs. And the best thing that can be said about it is at the end, when the good guys were starting to make their escape through that big room, and they get surrounded by the, velociraptors, and these guys were the short guys compared to the T-Rex, but they were vicious. And worse than that, they were smart. And so they're starting to make their way out. They're surrounded by 3 of these velociraptors. And the best that can be said is that the hero, sort of, in the movie, the good guy, was the T-Rex that came in and gobbled them all up. I mean, bit their heads off and the whole 9 yards. And it was like, for me, it was the way the story should have ended. The good guys got away, and the hero of the movie, if you will, was the T-Rex, right? And so I'm relieved. This is the way the story should end. Carol's probably the same way, because this is what you look for, the good guys getting away. And I looked over the kids, and they had pillows over their faces. It was like, you never even thought about that. And yeah, this was bloody and gory and everything. So, anyway, it got me thinking. Now, I'm working at the Roanoke Times at this point in my life, and I'm traveling from Glen Wilton to Roanoke, and I've got 45 to an hour commute. Plenty of time in my hands, and it gives me a chance to think about all these different things and come up with a better way to get the kids. They were having a hard time sleeping, and so it was one of those things. And I got to be honest with you, I loved when the kids would come into bed with us. That was great, because we just all snuggled together. In fact, we lived in California. We had a real nice little earthquake there. And Casey was at the far end of the room down the hall. He was probably 2 or 3. And I remember the bed was shaking and everything, and he comes running down the hall and jumps into bed. So that was kind of neat, and we did that a lot. But because of this movie, things were, emotionally for them, they were a little bit rough. And so it came down to having to write a story for them that would kind of relieve them of the pressure of dinosaurs and everything else. And so it came out to this thing that developed over, I don't know how many commutes it was before it came down to it. But anyway, my son was 5 and my daughter 3 when they came one sleepless night to me and said, "Dad, why? Why is the sky so dark at night? And why do dinosaurs have to bite? We'd love to sleep, but we just can't, because we think of T-Rex teeth that slant like daggers going everywhere in search of some delicious prey." And they just had a hard time with that. And so I thought, gosh, what can I do about this? And then I started thinking, I thought of all the tales that I knew, and you grow up learning about heroes and warriors and that sort of thing. So I thought of all the tales I knew of warriors brave and strong and true, and wondered if they might be just the thing to get them away from this sort of thing. And it came about that I started writing a little story about dinosaurs. And so I'm going to kind of refer to my book while I do that for you. We had to come up with a way to get them not to be afraid of the night and not to be afraid of dinosaurs, because they still loved the little toys that they had. So I kind of went back, I thought about the Superman, Batman, and that sort of thing, and that didn't fill the bill. I just had to go back to find a different story. So I did, and this is it. Once long ago, when the earth was young and the primal soup still bubbled, the great maker of all looked down at his work, and what he saw made him troubled. For though he'd made the sun by day that separated night from day, at night there was no evening light, and things were just dark. There was nothing there. So he gathered the creatures of the earth. In the beginning all were created, every one of them, and said, "Children of mine, my children divine, the night I've left understated. There's something amiss in the nighttime sky, a light of some sort I forgot. So I've called you together while our world is still young to get your ideas and thoughts." Well, the two-legged creature stepped forward first. He is and was then quite outspoken, and said, "Give us the power to rule over your world, and we'll provide you your luminous token." The great maker thought, and he pondered aloud, "I honestly like your design, but maybe I was pushing things just a bit. Let's put you back on the shelf for a time." Then a winged creature flew up to speak for his kind. "Though the heavens be ours in the day, give us the power to fly free in the dark, and we'll bear fire in our beaks while we play." Okay. The great maker thought, and it didn't take long to see danger in this request. Okay, thank you for sharing your ideas with us, but perhaps with the day you'll do best. Then a great thunder lizard spoke for his kind, the ones we now call Dinosaur, who in the earliest days of the earth were the special keepers of lore. Great maker, our burden is heavy, and long have we labored and tried. Since early, when you gave us our life spark, many have fallen and died. Our elders are burdened by what they've not done, our youth by what's left to do. Our remains become but a part of the earth. We have nothing to offer to you. And yet, of the little that we could provide was that greatest of gifts you have granted. We ask that to honor our work in your will, that our life spark in the heavens be planted. So all who may journey in your future world may look up and will see and will know that long ago in its youth, creatures labored and helped this world to grow. Then all about them grew quiet. No others offered to speak. The great maker of all knew he'd found the idea which he'd come to seek. Great creature, you please me immensely. Your ideas are thoughtful and sage. You're willing to give up your life, then your death to benefit some future age. So let it be as you wish. I accept it. The night sky will no longer be dark. From this night and hence ever forward, its raiment shall be your life spark. Some will be bright and massive, others will be faint and small, much as you are on my earth now, and I'll cherish you, each one and all. To those who have earlier fallen, I command that your life spark arise to join in celestial glory to forever light up my skies. But to those who still live and must labor, I promise you this, that your worth shall be fully realized upon dying, for in death will you know a rebirth. You'll join brothers and sisters before you, whose life spark will be seen from afar, and those who will live in the future shall know each of you as a star. Here on earth, I bequeath you my bounty. You'll rule long over this world, and what's more, mankind's children, who will come later, will cherish the name Dinosaur. Finally, your greatness will serve me. On a night many ages hence, over Bethlehem town in Judea, where a new story there will commence. You lead shepherds and kings on a journey. They'll travel from near and afar, and your labors shall become part of the legend known as the Great Christmas Star. Thus the great Maker decreed it, and thus would it forever be, that the great thunder lizards who lived long ago would in the night sky forever be free. So the next time you gaze at the heavens, remember this ancient lore. It could be that the star you're watching is the life spark of a great dinosaur. And so my story ended, and I looked down with care to see the impact of this tale on my sleepless pair. They lay there with their faces upturned, asleep, their fears abated, no longer worried about cold dark nights or dinosaurs ravenous and unsated. As for the fears their futures hold, when I no longer hear their call, I trust that their peace and comfort will lie in the hands of the great Maker of all.